Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Bytes podcast. This is episode 38, and this is the podcast where the two hosts are looking forward to playing Highguard. I don't know if this is gonna age well later on, but there's a lot of kerfuffle around this game, but it low key sounds good.
We will literally find
Um,
out in a week. We'll get back to you guys.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So, this episode we're gonna be talking about a lot of game showcases. Xbox had a showcase, Resident Evil, and also maybe some news about Ubisoft and just
maybe.
general gaming news stories throughout that happened throughout this week. Let's get right into it though. Hedy, man, how you been, or what you been up to?
Bro, I've been sick. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have been I have been
But it sounds like you like rolled up a tissue paper and stuck it in your nose. You're like, anything to expand the nose nostril.
I
But
legitimately have thought about it before doing the podcast, but I was like, all right, I don't want to I don't want to deal with it. So, yeah, I've been sick.
yeah,
So, haven't been like out and about, but that gives me plenty of times to play games and stuff like that and watch shows and all that stuff. So, what have I done that's interesting? Honestly, the only thing. Okay, so I'll just talk about the games that I played because I played a few. A few of them are replays, but I played one new game this week called Big Hops. Um,
mm,
Big and then HOPS. Essentially, what it is a platformer where you play as a frog, and the game. It's interesting. Platformers are. I'm finding out that I'm very much a platformers snob. Uh, in a sense that like if it doesn't feel good, I don't want to play it anymore. You know.
that's understandable.
Um, so few like good platformers, like obviously Nintendo has that shit on lock. Like I'd say another one that I really enjoyed was A Hat in Time, was also really good. This one, I want to preface by saying it's not a bad game. However, I don't think that it's built in a way that I personally would enjoy it. You know, um, it's very much like a collectathon, with like, you know how in Mario levels, right? You can collect the coins, but
Mhm.
ultimately there's a goal that you're trying to achieve of get like a star, and
Yeah,
in spite of that, or in light of that, they have a somewhat medium sized level that's just really well designed, right?
yeah, yeah.
Donkey Kong strays away from that a little bit further by giving you a much more open world to go and do stuff in, and Odyssey as well. But the difference here is that they put stars literally around every corner. You could do a bunch of different things, get a bunch of different stars. You know, like there's a whole bunch of ways you can pass the time,
Mm-mm.
you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And they have that in this game, and but unfortunately I don't think it's enough to keep me going. They have like 2 to 3 big stars that you're trying to get, and it's like it's cool conceptually what they're doing here, but I just don't think that there's enough keeping me in the game. You know, I completed the first world essentially, and I was like, okay, this is good. This feels nice, but I don't think it feels as tight as I usually like my platformers. You know?
And are you saying from like a vibe like, cause like, is there are you saying from like a goal perspective or like just like controls? Because it sounds like there isn't like a Bowser type figure to kind of push you between World 1 to World 2. Like I like in Odyssey, the whole point, or not, like the one of the drivers is like, oh, we got to go to this part of the world and collects the stars, and you can only move so far because the balloon is broken and you repair it by going to each world. Like I'm assuming there's not
Yeah,
that kind of
there is like an
driver.
overarching goal you have, and the goal initially, and I'm sure it changes throughout the game, but like have to get airship parts to fix the airship to go back home. That's kind of like
Oh.
the premise. Um, the game is built around speedrunning. So like the mechanics are built in a way where it's like if you jump and slide, like your speed goes up. They have like badges to let you track your speed. They have badges to like let you track how many things you have left to do in the level. Like there's like a passive badge system you can do,
Mhm, mhm,
and so by collecting like the purple coins, for example, you gain more XP to be able to get more badges, and then by collecting
mhm.
the big purple coins. That's like the stars. They give you just like the one level essentially. From a level design perspective, at least the first world, it wasn't bad, but I feel like it was just too open and there wasn't enough stars placed around the world to justify me wanting to explore the world. They had one or two, like they had like this, the first level you do is like a desert world, and it's like, oh, like there's these two rabbits running around the world, like talk to them, they have like a racetrack set up, if you can beat their time you'll get a star. I thought that was pretty cool. Like it was done pretty well. They teach you mechanics of like speed running and how to like get around the world a lot faster, and that was a lot of fun. And they had a star where it's like, oh, you climb to the top of this like cliff, and it's like really tall, and it's like an effort to do so, and it was fun to do, and I did it, and I was like, oh, that was cool, but then that was kind of it, you know.
Oh, so there wasn't a star at the top of the
There was,
like,
sorry, there was a star. Yeah, there was a star
Okay,
at the top. Yeah, but I got that, and then there was no other big stars, just a bunch of little star pieces that I got, and once you get like 50, they total up into one star. So, and again, it's not bad, but I feel like I just need more for me to be engaged with it. And then as you get, I got onto world, I finished world 1 and I was halfway through world 2 to what, that's when I kind of tapped out, because they have these mechanics where there's fruit around the world you pick up and you throw them, they do different things. There's like a fire fruit, you throw it starts fires. There's like a bounce fruit you throw on the floor and it shoots up. You can grab like the thing, it shoots up and bounce off of it with your like tongue because you're a frog. And that's cool, but I think that the mechanics of it are not very well polished, in a sense that's like there's a bit of jank behind it, you know. Like with Mario, for example, when you give Yoshi a fruit, it's very clear what it can do, and it's very like the limitations are pretty like set, you know. But here it's like there's like a fruit that is a cactus fruit you can throw at a wall, and it shoots a rope across like the adjacent wall that it's facing. Fair enough, that's a cool power, but it's one, you have to pick them up and throw them, and two, if it's off by a little bit, it like goes off in a random direction, and it's like a little bit frustrating having to deal with that and like get around with that. So it's and then like what made me tap out is like there was one where it's like you throw it on a platform and it spawns a balloon, and the balloon is attached to the platform, and you had to do certain puzzles with the balloon and things like that. I just don't think the physics of the balloon they had were like, I didn't enjoy interacting with those physics, you know. Like, you know how you jump into a game, you press a jump button and you're like, oh, this feels gross. It's like that kind of thing with that specific mechanic.
It's so hard to like quantify, but like anyone can pick it up and feel it. Like there's something about jump that like are hard to, or like platformers that are hard to kind of like really get in. So
exactly. So there was that little bit of jank. So I'm gonna tap out. I might come back to it. I downloaded it on my Steam Deck. Maybe I'll play it like when I'm out and about. But as of now, I think I'm good on it. So that was the new game I played, and then I played Resident Evil 8 again in hopes of, or like getting ready for RE9, because I saw the showcase and I was like, damn, all right, let me play some Resident Evil. So I jumped back into 8 and I just did a new game plus. I did a hardcore, and that game is so different on your second playthrough, especially when you have some like weapons that have unlimited ammo. In a good way. It's really fun, and it's a very different kind of game when you go the second time around, because you're not as scared of monsters. You're able to, you know, their patterns, you're able to mess around with them, and you're also like, oh shoot, like some jump scares still got me. Like I was running on the castle, and like the big vampire lady still chasing you, and I'm like, oh, I could deal with her, like I know how to kite around her. But there were times where I'd open a door and she's like right there, and I'm like, oh, like I get scared. So it's good. And like there were some jump scares where it's like there's a puzzle where you see a picture and you turn the picture around and it says, oh, look out the window, and I forgot that like a monster pops up when you do that, so you scared me, and I like unloaded on him with a shotgun that I had. It was just like, it's like a different kind of goofiness that occurs when you're playing this game the second time around, you know. Great game, honestly. I really recommend it to anybody who hasn't played RE8. And then I'm currently playing through RE4 again. So I finished RE8 and then I jumped into RE4, and that one, same thing, new game plus. It's very fun. I don't have unlimited ammo for any of my guns, but I know how to play the game better this time because I know what to expect, right? So I'll be like, you know, optimizing routes for enemies, like kiting them, taking them out with headshots, things like that. So it feels good to like be able to do that kind of like optimized run, you know. It's really fun. I very much recommend everyone play the remake. It's really good, and they do a lot of cool things with it, I would say.
Yeah, it's a overall just a good game. Like I can understand had like I mean obviously it's a remake, so they take some liberties with like modernization, but I think I can understand why a lot of people liked it if this like if it came out like back in the day. But it's a great one.
Yeah. And then I also played. So, Cult of the Lamb is having a DLC drop soon. I think it dropped yesterday, actually. And I was like, let me get back into Cult of the Lamb and see, like, if I want to buy this DLC and play it, right? Maybe it breathes new life into this game. And I've realized that, like, I just don't like how the game feels. I try to get back into it. I beat it, and all that stuff the first time. And then I tried to get back into it again, and I was like, oh, there's just what they have going on. I don't think flows well, at least for me, in terms of a Animal Crossing like manage your villagers setup with a roguelike that's a bit too easy in my opinion. So I kind of tapped out of that pretty quick. I didn't play too much of it. And then the last thing that I played that I wanted to talk about was the new Deadlock update. It came out today, I believe, or yesterday. Dude, they cooked with this one.
Dude, I honestly I like as you were talking, I was just pulling up the patch note page or like the major update page.
Yeah.
And man, oh my god, they added something that was like highly requested, which is like okay, not requested, but like early on the game, like it has an evolving art style.
Yep.
And here they like drew a clear line of like, okay, we are making our visual identity known, because like the two like this, it's a MOBA, and like you're supposed to like destroy the other person's like base item.
Yeah.
But they really drew like a line saying like these two bases look significantly different, which looks so good, man.
Dude, not even the base. Like, yes, you're right. The bases look like so good and different. But what's also different is that they added like splash screens. They added an MVP page. They added like new like for example, you know how there's a character called Dynamo that Ahmed and I like to play, where he can do this thing where he can teleport him and a teammate like up to like a certain feet away. It's called quantum entanglement. Before when you did it, it's just like a bar that tells you, hey, this ability is in progress, and it goes down, right? Now what it is the words quantum entanglement pop up, and they are themselves like the timer. Like there's a color inside of them, and it drains slowly as you're doing it. There's just like a lot of sauce, and they're also adding 6 more characters, which is great. But like just conceptually, right? Like this is such a cool like vibe, and it feels very good to play. I very much recommend it. Ahmed and I will probably play it this week.
Yeah.
But
now we're playing Highguard first, bro.
That's for sure.
Okay. Now I'm updating Deadlock right now. I don't know, who am I kidding?
Yeah, we're gonna play, but it's dope. It looks really nice. But played one match since the update came out, and we had the enemy team, 5 of them DC'd, so that was great. Still got it. But yeah, that was my week. That's all I played.
There's one character on here that I think everyone's gonna go crazy over, and then there's one character that just looks weird, makes me feel uncomfortable.
Which one?
So I think the one that people are gonna go crazy for is Silver, because it's a girl turns to werewolf, has a wolf cut.
Yep.
I think people are gonna be barking for that. Then the one that looks really weird is Celeste. She looks like a human unicorn, but she has like, it looks like a flesh horn, and it looks so weird, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
But like they do have like, Valve is very amazing at doing striking unique designs. Like I don't think any two characters look the same, right? Like, oh, this guy looks like this. Meanwhile, League of Legends has freaking, what is his face? Yasuo and Yone.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're brothers, bro. They look the same.
They're the same guy. But yeah, that's what I did. What did you do this week?
So this week, man, I got I finally finished Ghost of Yotei. I didn't really do a lot of the side missions. Because it's been a while, so I was just like, let me just kind of get the motivation to finish the game. But it's good. It's a bit different than the first one, right? Like it's a bit different than Ghost of Tsushima, because I think that one had like a lot of thematic stuff that made some of the plot, like it had like two universal stories, I guess, being told at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's a revenge story in a way, but also it's sort of the story of, how do you say it? I mean, the game's out for a while. I'm not trying to spoil it, but like there's this element of like, how much are you gonna do to survive?
Yeah.
And like that sort of angle, plus like this honor revenge story, which is like, it just felt really nice. This one was still good, I think. I like it more for the gameplay improvements that it did rather than the story. Like, so you, instead of maintaining different stances, you
have different
hold
weapons,
different
right?
weapons.
Yeah.
And so each weapon it's sort of this like rock paper scissors, but like 6 different ways, because there's like different enemy types, and each one it's better to use a certain weapon. And it's cool when I've mentioned this before, but like they can knock the weapon out of your hand, and then they play defense to be like, okay, like don't let her get next to the weapon, and so that kind of thing is cool. And also when people drop weapons, you can pick them up and throw them at people, so you get this really crazy feeling of being a badass. The part where the game kind of, like, the story, like it's good. Like I might do more for certain people, but for me, maybe I just waited a while. But like it kind of got things moving, and it was a bit predictable. Like
So you beat it?
Yeah, I beat it.
Okay.
But
I think you're just upset that it's not as good as Shadows.
You're right, dude. You're right. No, but okay, it's funny. So here's the thing, where I was gonna pivot into, right?
Mm-hmm.
The action is great, right?
Okay.
But the ghost element, like the stealth element, man, it's rough, dude. I could be like 50 feet away on like a little perch, just shooting arrows at a guy, and he's not like alerting people around him.
It's
right?
rough, like, as in it's not good.
Yeah, it's very open world stealth. It's very open world third person game where you press circle to crouch. The game I'm describing, imagine how deep the stealth is going to be, right? But it's not like Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid is like, oh dude, I see footprints in the sand or in the snow. Someone's around here. What the heck's going on? Or, oh hey, why do I smell cigarettes? Someone's around. Like that's how crazy like Metal Gear Solid is.
To be fair, that's what that game is built around, right? But
that's fair. I understand. That's so true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, also, like those two features are from a game from the PS1 era. Right?
Correct. That is true.
We're in 2026. Game came out in 25, but still, like
you need more than just like, oh, take them out from afar. Oh, if you're too close to the spot, yeah. I agree.
Exactly, because like sometimes like when the levels when you see like a level designed, and it's like, oh, here's one bush, and one guy is conveniently 15 feet away from the other guy. Okay, you walk up next to him, and then, oh, next to this other guy, there's a bush next to him. So it's like it doesn't feel like I am.
You're not actually doing stealth. You're just kind of avoiding the set. Like, I would argue that the immersion is being broken because you're not playing the stealth game. You're playing, oh, let me just avoid the enemies.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, you can argue like that's stealth, but the game set up the solution for me, and it's like, hey, go do it, right? Like it's different when it's like you, like for example, like Metal Gear Solid. I'm not saying I want this in Ghost of Yotei or other games, but Metal Gear Solid, you can literally like call in a a support thing to go drop on some guy's head and knock him out.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, like you, there's like dumb ways of you can do stuff, or you
Yeah.
can like, you see a guy there and you can just go jump on a box sled and then just go ram him and then the guy gets knocked out. Like
You have
there's a lot of
options.
ways to options. This
Yeah.
one just feels like, hey, like, you want to do stealth, you need to go through this bush, press triangle, and then walk up to his friend, press triangle. Whereas like there's other games that you can do different things, right? Like
Well, like, oh,
like
actually, hold on. Pause 1 second
I
here.
mean, like, yeah, but so the like what I was saying is that the like there's other games that have stealth that like give you the feeling that you can do more than just whatever is kind of just like presented as like, hey, you probably should be doing this, like I don't know. And
Well, like,
also
I think a very recent example is Death Stranding, like, right? Like the Death Stranding 1 specifically, because in Death
Yeah.
Stranding 1, I haven't played 2, so I can't say, but in Death Stranding 1, when you first encounter a BT, it's like, yo, hold your breath. It's like, what do you mean hold my breath? Like, hold your breath, because if they hear you, like, very unique concept, and they don't track your footprints,
Yeah.
like, they don't know, but like, it, you know, like, it's a very clever way to deal with stealth.
Yeah. Like, and yeah, exactly. And also, like, I'm not saying like I need like something like crazy. I don't need like a bunch of options to do things.
Yeah.
But I also want to feel like if I do, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm literally in a base
Yeah.
and I'm walking around, and I messed up on a stealth section because like I was trying to like instant assassinate like one of the big brutes, and like you
in
can't
Yote.
instant assassinate in Yote, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And like you need to upgrade like your skill tree to be able to do that, but I didn't. So like he comes up, he's angry and he's fighting me. I would assume that like, okay, you're in your base, you should be yelling like, hey, someone's here, or something, right? Like there should be an enforcement around me, but there isn't. So like I'm out here just katana slanging and clinking and clacking and pinging, you know, like you're hearing like the metal like making all this noise and nobody's coming to check it out, and I'm like, okay, now I just go back to stealth. And so it felt very like,
I could have swore, okay, maybe I'm misremembering, but I could have swore in the first one they did call people. Did they?
maybe, I don't know, but
maybe I'm
like,
misremembering, but
like I've had numerous times where I had literally, I pull up and I'm like, okay, I mess up, and then like the whole base is not on my ass, which like I would assume like that should be like, I don't like there's a whole other discussion about like the state of gaming AI, not like not the shit that's on the phone, but like the like how the computers react to you kind of thing, right?
well, like let's take an example of like, for all its faults, Last of Us 2, I would argue that if you
Oh yeah,
beat someone
had
with
amazing
a bat, right? Like
yeah
the whole camp will be alerted to your presence. Like that, and that makes sense because you're loud. You know? So it's like things like that.
And there's like a lot of things to it, or it's like if you're about to like go stealth somebody, like in Last of Us 2, they'd be like, oh my god, Lenny, watch out, or something. Or like if you get caught, like they'll call out to the other people. So it was, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Anyways, Ghost of Yotei is a fun action game, not really a stealth game. That's the point I was trying to get across.
But I think
the rest of my time, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, like, conceptually, right? If you, and I don't know if I'm looking at the rose-colored glasses, right? But when I was playing Ghost of Yotei, I felt that the stealth was pretty good in a sense that, like, oh yeah, like this makes sense for the story. Like, it's about a samurai who's foregoing the way of his creed.
In Tsushima, right?
Yeah, Tsushima. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's like, like the whole plot is him foregoing the way of the samurai and becoming a ninja, essentially, a shinobi. And it's like, oh, that's what's like the dishonor behind, like, it makes sense why that was a focus there. But I can't remember if I had the same issue with it then that you're having now. And I don't know if that's just,
I guess I'm just thinking about like this is like, I feel like we're so far in games that like, what is the like evolution, right?
Yeah.
I think like I'm at a point where like I kind of want to see more game design things. I'm like, sure, I think we're at a point where graphics look good, you just need to find a good art style and go.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't need RTX in someone's butt cheeks, dude. Like we're good.
Fair.
Let's just do good. Let's just do like some unique game design that like enhances the feeling of the game, right? Like for example, like I think that like lately what I've been doing is I've been getting my wife to play a lot of the games that I think she would like. So I pulled up and so most of the week has just been me sitting on the couch and just watching my wife play a game. So last time I played Return of the Obra Dinn, or Return to the Obra Dinn, and I gave it to my wife and I was like, you need to play this, you're gonna love it. She's addicted to Genshin Impact, but she was like, you know what, let's just try this out. She tried it, she's like, this is great. She finished the game in literally like 2 sittings, and I then bought a physical copy of Blueprints, which
please don't.
For me, I think it was like, dude, she is putting me and Hadi to shame, bro. It's crazy because like I'm texting him. I was like, on day 2 she did this, on day 7 she did that, and he's like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
There's no way, dude. It was crazy, but I mean, like,
bro, I was like, bro, we went to Jupiter to get stupid.
Yeah, I'm not saying no way to doubt her ability. I'm saying no way because I'm like, man, I'm dumb, bro. Like I could not.
Yeah, we're the ogre is trying. The ogre is dumb. Yeah. We're literally just like, how did we caveman our way into
I'm really scared to let my wife play Blueprints because I told her like, oh, like the end game is so hard and all this stuff, and I'm scared that she's gonna get into it. It's like, you're an idiot, and I'm like,
dude, yeah. There's some stuff that like my wife, she just figured out. She's like, oh, I just tried this thing, and I was like, how the fuck did you do this? I was like, anyways, but yeah. But those 2 games are like masterclass in like game design, like Blueprints and Return of the Obra Dinn, because they're a non-traditional game about like, one is, hey, identify 60 people through picture and memories, give me their name and their fate, and it's like that. Like I've never felt like such a good detective.
Well, I think
I never felt like a detective in a way like this way before.
Yeah, and I think also like part of it is that as we've been playing games for years, decades at this point.
Yeah.
I would argue, right? And I think it's more so like your taste has become more refined to a point where it's like, I don't want to waste time on mid. You know, like
yeah.
That's how I feel. It's like with Big Hops, it's not a bad game at all, but it's not hitting that itch of like, oh, this is like cool, this is like different. You know, like Deadlock, yes, it's a MOBA, but I feel like they're doing a lot different with the MOBA genre that I haven't personally experienced and I really enjoy. You know?
Yeah.
Like things like that, where it's like you want something that's different. They're different, or like it's like a nice taste of nostalgia. And I don't think that playing a game like Ghost of Yotei, where it's like it has good elements, but like there's parts of it where you're like
I'm pretty sure I've played these types of games before, right? Like I think
I've played these games before.
Yeah, I played these games before. Yeah, it's like it's interesting because like I might have said this earlier or like at some point, but like there's a certain point where like I realized I stopped watching cartoons growing up. It's because they're generally speaking, like there's like a lot of themes that like people try to give in shows, right? Like you're always gonna have in any kid's show an episode where the main character is like, I love candy so much, and then they eat so much candy and then they throw up and then they realize moderation is good, right?
Yep.
So there's always gonna be like there's like I don't know, like 20 or so like lessons that they try to teach kids, and it's like I remember I was watching some show and I was like, bro, fuck it, like Zach and Cody did this so long ago, and I don't know, it's like, oh, for some other kid this is his first time, or this is their first time watching this like episode archetype, and I was like, oh, have I just like completed a full circle of like what there is to discuss and talk about?
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel a little bit with games, where it's like, so like Ghost of Yotei might be someone's first open world game, and for them it's gonna be like, oh my god, not to knock the game, like the game has amazing like has such a beautiful presentation. Like one of the best, like I'll give a positive for the game, like one of the best ways to integrate game interface with the world. So instead of having like just obnoxious map markers, you'll get different visual elements in the world to kind of lead you to a certain place. So if you want to put a waypoint, instead of a big fucking neon
yellow paint
tube,
everywhere.
yeah, like, oh, go over there. Like you have like wind that like gently like will brisk and blow just to kind of be like, oh, I saw the wind push a little bit right, so maybe I should move a
Well,
little
also
bit right.
like I would also say it's like a great like exploration of like Japanese culture in that time period. Like it does so much well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I would argue that like at the end of the day, you're still playing a game, and so like you need it to be engaging. And if it's like mid across the board, it's not bad, but like you're just like, yeah, like I'd rather spend my time with something else, right?
That's true. Yeah. I will say, like, to not be a hypocrite, I would say the like I want other games to do what Ghost of Yote does, in sense of how do you not just like not blow up, how do you just throw a fucking waypoint and be like, that's where you're gonna go, right? But like they integrated like map markers and like side objectives and side stories in a way like for example, like if you're near like an upgrade item, which is like a hot spring, a little bird comes up next to you while you're like roaming, and it's like, hey, by the way, you're near this thing, but it doesn't tell you exactly where it is. But so it's like you just follow the bird for a little bit and you can figure out where this thing is. And it's it's like the exact opposite of what Ubisoft does, which is like, yo, I'm gonna just throw up on your map and you're gonna go to the chunks. And it's like,
or you can buy the DLC that gives you all the treasure on the map. And
exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think now I'm at a point in life, and I think both of us are, where it's like, I'm really into like more. Not see, this is the thing where I'm turning somber. I'm like, I'm into the indie scene.
Yeah.
No, but it's like I realize like there's so much. You get different experiences, and I think I'm at a point where I'm like, unless like the open world game, like the AAA game is like well regarded.
Yeah.
Like, I might skip on a lot of things, unless like okay, man, I say this and I'm like, yeah, but I will pick up Resident Evil right now, Requiem. But that's also like I think a little bit of a different experience that like, I don't always get. So
yeah, that's fair. Again, and we're not like, I don't think anyone here is like shaming, quote unquote, like anyone who enjoys Ghost of Yote. It's just like there's certain things that you're looking for, and like unless they've vastly changed up the formula in certain aspects, you'll like, if there's a Ghost of Yote or Ghost Game 3, then like it has to like impress from the start, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like eating the bag of chips. It's like, I think I've had enough from the family bag. I can put the bag down for a bit. Maybe, every now and then, swing by the kitchen, grab a little nibble. Who knows, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair.
Bag of chips, bro.
What else did you play?
That's it. Most of the time was just me sitting shotgun watching my wife play games. But I'm gonna get back into things, man. I'm probably gonna be playing more Deadlock. And getting, I was trying to get back into Control, but dude, man, for something about Control, I don't know if it's because of the lack of like immediate health packs or regenerative health, but or maybe I'm just ass at the game, but I can't get it. I don't know, man. I'm just dying a lot. So I might need to give Control another shot. And just
you gotta lock in, brother.
Okay, also it's weird because it's like semi sandboxy, like not sandboxy, but like there's like each floor, but it doesn't like, I was expecting this game to be like, all right, go to this room, go to that room. Now they're just like, all right, bro, go to fucking float over here, go downstairs.
Yep. Figure it out.
Enter the fucking director's butthole. Do this thing. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about, man? I don't know what this.
I'll be honest.
Why about holding a payphone? Well, who are you? Why is there a janitor
the
here?
documentation in the game is gonna be very helpful to help you understand.
I can't read.
To help you understand what the hell is going on, because there's a lot going on, and there were times where I was playing and I was like, what the? And I read, I was like, okay.
Bro, did they have audiobooks?
No.
Fucking get someone do an audible read of this.
You got what's it called? Gaming Harry on YouTube that just explains plots of games. You just watch this video while you're playing the game. Like, oh, okay. Just pause it when you get too far. Like, okay, cool. This is where I'm at in terms of the story. I'm gonna wait here.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, but it feels good to play, right?
Yeah, it feels good. I think it's just I I don't know what it is, man. Like there's sometimes like I just find myself like hiding behind cover a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
and there's like no dedicated cover button. Like so I'm like having to organically just like like pixel peep behind a wall.
Mm,
So it makes me feel like I'm not playing the game right.
okay. I
I
won't
don't
say
know,
you're playing
man.
it wrong, but what helped me like figure out the game was that grabbing shit and just holding it in front of you does wonders, and just like
Oh,
throwing,
really?
yeah, grabbing shit, holding it in front of you can help, and then just throwing it. Oh, like I'm always throwing stuff. Generally speaking, if I don't have
Yeah.
anything to
Okay.
throw, like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm out here throwing shit like my mom after I get a bad grade, bro. Shit. God, John. Bro, I'm out here
Those are my
just yeah.
chanclas.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really good. And then
Um.
obviously you upgrade abilities and stuff as you play, so it gets really, really cool.
Yeah.
But it is tough to get a handle on, especially if you've never played any Remedy's games. I remember when I first played it, I was like, what the hell is going on? Then I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It just feels like because it low key feels like how somebody described Max Payne 3, which was like he was like, oh, it's like a shooting gallery, which is like yeah, it's like the
Mhm.
gunplay feels tight, but it's like I feel like all I'm doing is shooting guns,
Fair.
but
Yeah,
I don't know.
that
That might be a
is.
huge smooth brain take. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I mean I get it. It is
Uh,
it is if you're not again if you're not used to it, it's very different. So it's
yeah.
not an incorrect take. But okay, nice. Anything else you wanted to talk about for your week or?
Um, not much to say except that I guess all eyes are on Xbox.
Oh yeah, why is
Yeah.
that?
Xbox. I recently had a developer direct. I think yesterday, which is
Was that this morning?
Thursday. Is it this morning? Am I stupid? No, I think it was yesterday, right?
We'll say it's yesterday.
Okay. Anyway, so they showed off some of the games that they were working on, right? They showed off the next installment in Forza Horizon. It is Forza in Japan. So you know that meme
That's where it
place
goes.
in Japan. Yeah.
I mean, it does look cool, right? But I realized after playing a lot of Forza 5, I don't know if I'm a fan of Forza. I feel like I just get too bored too quickly of it for me personally.
But brother, I drive in real life anyways. What do you mean I gotta pay to do this?
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
no, but I mean, granted though, I mean, I think the setting of Japan is interesting. It's gonna be, it looks like they leaned into some of the like more country aspect and not just purely city Tokyo kind of vibes. But like, there is some of that, which is cool to have.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So I'm assuming Forza's not really doing much for you then.
Not for me. Like, I'll put it this way. Once they started talking about Forza, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I turned away, and then I turned back at the end when they showed, like, the Gundam. I'm like, oh, okay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just casually listening to it on the side. So,
Fair.
yeah.
I think the real point of getting this game is whenever they inevitably release the Hot Wheels DLC or
Yeah.
I don't know, or Lego DLC, or because I think Forza always has a interesting like year 2, year 3 like whimsical thing that they do. So I'm curious.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm very curious to see what they'll do for the Japan, because Hot Wheels Hot Wheels was cool. I don't know how you go higher than Hot Wheels, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Phil Spencer, bro. We have an eye on you.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. Yeah. And then I would say the next thing that was on there was Beast of Reincarnation. This one was funny. So this is made by Game Freak, and for those of you who don't know, Game Freak makes the Pokemon games for Nintendo. And so I saw this trailer and I was like, damn, so Game Freak can cook. It's just that Nintendo says, nah, you're not allowed to cook. That's how I looked at it. But I don't know about you.
I'm just gonna, can this game even run on the Switch? Maybe we gotta ask. I definitely think maybe Nintendo is the problem. No, no. The jokes aside, this looks a bit interesting. Some people are saying this has some vibe similar to Nier Automata.
Oh, interesting.
It's interesting because like a lot of the enemies are leaning into this like plant, flower, viney kind of territory. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see like what that means for the world, and I guess like how the story like intertwines. Like what are they gonna explain as like the kind of premise of what you're doing? Because it from the get go it looks a little bit just like I mean, a lot of people have been saying a generic Souls kind of game with with a wolf, but I don't know, man. I mean, it at minimum is nice to see Game Freak do something different.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I think it looks neat, and I would say that also like, it looks different enough from a Souls-like to pique my interest. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's you know, it's interesting, bro. I've not heard the whatever I don't know what the term is, but I've not heard people be like, "Oh my God, woke," because it's a woman. But I've not heard that critique. I feel like that usually comes up when games get released.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
You want to know why? It's because she's attractive.
Got him.
I mean, people don't. I mean, those type of people on the internet, they don't care. I mean, bro, they love Stellar Blade. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Did they even play Stellar Blade? That's the question. But I guess maybe the next question I have is like, what the heck is Kiln?
So, this is interesting because I think, from what I understand, it is it's a brawler type game where you and your friends are in like in an arena and fighting enemies and things, or like level fighting enemies, but you can kind of quote unquote custom make your character from pottery, like clay. Don't know how I feel about it. I think it's cool. I think Double Fine makes interesting stuff. I would kind of want to give it a shot, to be honest.
Yeah, I had somebody had said something about like in this game, like you make a pot and then you play party games, and I think one of the party games is like you deliver water. So I guess, or I'm assuming there's gonna be, I would assume that there's gonna be different game modes that would take advantage of the unique shapes that people make. So maybe somebody can make like a big ass bowl and be like, okay, I'm gonna need to deliver water, but someone would make something that, I don't know, like imagine if you make a really thin vase and you need to like stack each other on top of each other to do something that might be cool. But this looks like a little bit like party animals.
Yeah, it does give
a little bit, but it just like dumb fun, which I think it's nice to see that at least Microsoft is kind of giving this a try, because Double Fine makes interesting looking games. I think the last game they made was you being a sentient lighthouse. Yeah, just walking around.
I have that game installed, Keeper. I just have not touched it since I've installed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just haven't brought myself. I don't know what it is, but every time I pull up the Xbox launcher, I'm like, I don't want to play any of this, and I just go back to Steam and play those games.
You know, honestly, that's so true. Like when I had Game Pass, I would go walk up and be like, it just feels, I don't know, man.
It's like you're cheating on Steam. It's like I can't do it.
Yeah, or just like I'm literally playing the same exact game, but it's like it feels like I'm playing the Great Value brand.
Yeah.
On the Xbox app. I don't know. Not to knock generics on stores. I mean, hey, I'm out here buying generic cola, but still, there's just something that just feels off, you know.
Yeah, which is
like
kind of vibe I got
toilet paper
from Fable. That something feels off. I don't know what
really?
it is. I don't know what it, dude. Okay, so Fable was also announced at this Direct.
Yeah.
And they showed a lot of gameplay, which looks kind of cool. They showed character customization, combat, and like just like open world activities and shenanigans you can get up to. And I encourage everyone to watch the gameplay themselves. It's like 10 minutes of footage, I believe. And I don't know what it is, but something in the back of my brain is like, something's up. And I don't know what it is. Honestly, I have no answer for you. But it's just something is off when I saw that gameplay. I was like, oh, this, I don't know, you know?
Okay, is it from an art perspective? Because I feel like it's
Maybe.
like, because here's the thing, they do have a style, but it's leaning heavy in like the realism. Like it's like they have like someone described it as like Jack and the Beanstalk vibe
Yes.
type of city. So you have like the English, German, medieval folklore kind of feeling.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just
But
like...
then the I don't know, the graphics is like, oh, realistic face and like real lighting and real this, but then juxtaposed to super fantasy. I don't know.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it looks too hyper realistic for my brain to be like, oh yeah, this is a fantasy setting, you know, like,
Yeah.
because I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it. You know what? You know what it reminds me of, and it's the UI and all this stuff is giving Hogwarts Legacy, but the realism on the
Yes.
game turned up to like 11. And
I was about to say,
yeah, and I think for me mentally, it's like, I don't know how that's gonna affect my brain. And then also, they also said some stuff in here that I'm like, it's setting off my alarm bells in the back of my head of like, there's probably some AI shenanigans here of like the living population. You can go and talk to around 1,000 NPCs. Granted, they have been working on this game for a long time, right? Just to give them credit. And, you know, like, there's just, I don't know what it is. There's just something off about this game that I'm not excited for it, but I'm not like super gung-ho for it either, you know?
There is a thing though, like, because on paper, so this game Fable used to be directed by Peter Molyneux, which is a game designer that would always promise the world to everybody and not deliver it, but he still had like crazy ideas. So I think even like back in the day, you could like buy up a bunch of property, rent it out to everybody, and then you would get known as like the landlord, and then like your character would like physically change and like to embody what a landlord looks like.
Yeah.
And people would react to you. So I'm guessing like they're trying to do that similar vibe, where like you can interact with like all these characters and like give them like not necessarily you have a personal relationship with each of them, but like that, like
you could do something with them.
Yeah, it's not that far off from what the original Fable games used to be, from my understanding.
Yeah, and like if they could pull it off, like that's cool. Like I don't want to mistake, like what they're saying is dope, but in execution, I just don't know how they're gonna pull it off.
Yeah, I will say honestly, I do think the hyper realism of the game, I don't know if that's the right choice, because I think this has like British humor. So if you're dealing with like high fantasy with like quirky, not quirky, but like quaint folklore, big mushrooms, weird looking houses, kind of like medieval,
Yeah,
like Jack and Jill kind of lederhosen kind of vibe, like of medieval.
yeah,
And like you're dealing with like British humor. I don't know if hyperrealism like is how I would go for it. Like I think a more stylized look might have been better, but again, I mean, I'm not a game designer. I'm not a game developer. I don't know, right? So, but I interested to see something coming out of this, because like it's been a dormant game. So I think at least this
the franchise
in a way is it's like low key feels like a new IP because it's been gone for so long that like it comes back, and it at least it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah, I want it to succeed. It's just
Yeah,
I'm just not excited for it. I don't know what it is, and I know a lot of people are, and maybe it's because I didn't play the original Fable, so I'm not like, whoa, it's back, you know. But
Oh, it's
like,
fine, bro. Yeah, local brown man hates the British people. It's fine,
no.
man. It's
Well,
okay.
yeah. I mean, you know what they did? They got peas on toast.
Bro, you're telling me nah, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
Hmm.
The national dish is chicken tikka masala. You're telling me there's not a one brown guy in this trailer?
That
You're
is a good
telling me
point.
these Brits, bro, they did this and then they out here eating fucking mashed mushed peas, bro.
Mushy peas, isn't it, bruv?
Oh my god, bro.
Um,
Uh but yeah, man.
yeah, I don't know. It's coming out this year, so that's cool. And they gave a date as well. I just don't remember what it is.
I think they said fall
Fall.
of
Okay,
2026.
cool, nice. Okay, definitely would like to
Yeah.
check that out when it comes out. Um, if I'll have Game Pass by then. If not, I guess not, because my Game Pass expires this year. My 30 years of Game Pass that I used, so we'll see. Um, just like we'll see about Larian and their use of AI in Baldur's Gate 3. So it's interesting, right? For context, for anybody who missed it, Baldur's Gate 3 was announced, or not Baldur's Gate 3, sorry, Divinity Original Sin 3 was announced at the Game Awards, and it was a big deal. People were really excited about it. And then immediately after that, they had an interview go out, which basically said like, "Oh yeah, we're excited." Sven said, who's the leader of Larian, "Hey, we're excited to use Gen AI and AI in our game process." And everyone was like, "Hold on, what are you talking about?" And then the news cycle about Divinity Original Sin 3 became that, and people were really pissed about it. And he decided to do a Reddit AMA. And so like, I'm not gonna go into like the lore and stuff that they talked about, because that's not like that. Like I'm trusting them to cook with that, you know. The reason I put this in here is because they talked about the AI art issue that people are bringing to light here, and here's what he said from his AMA. I'll be paraphrasing somewhat. So he said, "There's not going to be any Gen AI art in Divinity. There's a lot of discussions about using it as a tool or process of concept art exploration. We already said we aren't going to have concept art generated by AI, but I understand the confusion. So to ensure there's no room for doubt, we've decided to refrain from using Gen AI tools during concept art development. That way, there can be no discussion about the origin of the art. That being said, we continuously try to improve the speed at which we try things out. More iterations mean more things that we can try. We think Gen AI can help with that. So hopefully it can help us refine our ideas faster. Less waste, ultimately higher quality game. The important bit is that we will not generate any creative assets to end up in the game without being 100% sure of the origins of the training data and the consent of those who created the data. If we use a Gen AI model to create in-game assets, then it'll be trained on data that we own." So, yeah. And then again, someone else, machine learning director Gabriel Bosk, also expanded, saying the important bit to note is that we do not generate creative assets that end up in the game without being 100% sure about the origins of the data and the consent of those who created the data. Yeah. So on paper, and there's a long quote. It'll be in the comment or in the description or whatever. You guys can read it. Long quote. Looks really cool in concept, right? This is stuff that me and you have talked about, where
Mhm.
if it's trained on data that they own and it's trained on things that they have, like, I think it there's less ethical concerns in my opinion, because it's like I'm feeding the machine myself with my own ideas, with
Mhm.
everything, and that's how. If that's the case, then fair enough, right?
Mhm.
What do we? What do I don't know. What do you think initially?
No, I mean it makes sense. I think also some things here, like I think the term Gen AI, like there's a lot of like labeling on things just for like that comes off wrong. It's like a very big umbrella term. Um, like I think specifically like if you're feeding a data set and you're asking for image or text, like yeah, that is generative AI. Um, so if they own like the data that is being into the model, then sure, I mean it's fine. uh I think like I don't know, people, it's turning into like a culture moment a little bit where like people are kind of drawing lines in the sand that like, oh, even if you have even if you have your own model, even if you have your own machine and you're running everything, like some people would come in and be like, oh, don't do that because you're using excessive electricity that could just be done by human input, which
Yes, technically,
I don't
right?
know. Like
I
I don't know, man. It's there's like I feel like there's arguments to always have around this thing. I
so
think
man, okay, yes, you're right. And not to say that stuff is not important. It is very important, but for the sake of this discussion in terms of like we cannot possibly cover every single aspect of like why Gen AI is bad. It is by default a negative. However, this technology is here to stay. So how can we
yeah,
make
I
it?
don't know.
I don't
It's
know. Like, you know, like it's
like
tough.
here's the I would say because to an extent if you do your best effort, is it really a negative? Like why? Like for example, like 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 this was a comment that I was talking with somebody like it's like random, but like for example like when it comes to crypto, people like have like had a very big issue with crypto because like of electricity that it uses, but then nobody talks about like, oh, what about Visa and all these other banks? Like does it like they're using a shit ton of energy too to like host similar like mar- host similar markets and things like that, right?
Yep.
Like I don't know, like there's all these like shoulda, coulda, wouldas, whataboutisms
Yeah.
on certain topics.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
I don't know.
And I guess to so yeah, you're right. I would say for the sake of this discussion, we can keep it to like the
Yeah,
ethical lines of like art and all that stuff, or ethical quote unquote moral, whatever we want to call it. Because like you can make this argument for anything. Oh, you use your phones, their mind, like
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
there's a lot. So
yeah. Like
yeah,
if we're only talking about like generation of art and or text, and we're not talking about like using enhanced software to like improve animations or things like that. Like if you're solely talking about the art, um, I think, um, I guess I mean I said this before. I think, or I was thinking about it, but like James Cameron had a quote. He's like, "Oh, this would be great to have if I can put my input into the tool." Like as in like if I can extract exactly what I want out of that tool, then that should be fine, right? I think the point where people would have concern is that if it's like a click it and ship it type of thing, right? Um,
how so?
I think as people, I don't know, I don't know, dude. It's weird, right? Because it all depends on like who ends up using it, right? Like, um, or like how the the person uses it. Because like if there's someone that's like very specific on like the type of shot or the type of texture or the type of thing that needs to be populated, and they're like going through multiple iterations to get exactly what they need, and they're doing it faster than just doing it by hand, I don't see why that would be bad from like an artistic vision. But it opens the door of just like the fuck, it looks good to me, and then
Yeah,
just just like kind of things just go out the window without uh like
yeah, like the quality can go down
feeling.
just by like because the speed is the key, and
Yeah, yeah.
we
Like
know that with
and it's not even about like sorry to interrupt. Like
no
it's
no
not
you're
even
good.
about like, oh, like the people have bad intentions, but it's like, but if you look at like if you pump out like individual items, like you might realize that like there's like missing cohesion. But then again, like maybe like these large dedicated art teams are good at like curating the vibe in the things, right? Like it's something worth checking out. I think if someone were to like, if someone were to do this right, it would be them. If they can't nail it, then I think it's this would be like a nail in the coffin for this whole thing. Because like these, like Sven even went on like the stage of like what 2024
Mm-hmm.
and was like, oh, I'm gonna predict the next game of the year, and he gave like this whole monologue about like games being made from passion,
Yep.
and people like it comes coming from the people that want to make the games. And granted, like these guys aren't these they're not like battle passing the hell out of their customers. So
Yeah.
uh, they know how to make things. So yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, I agree with the idea of like using it to efficient, like make your thing efficient, right? Like animators have came out and said like, hey, like there was an AI tool going on where it's like it can rig your animation for you, like in a sense, like it just negates hours of work that you would do by hand. And animators came out like, dude, this is awesome. Like this genuinely is a good optimization of the tool, you know? And that stuff makes sense, right? However, in this specific instance, there's a couple of things. First off, it's a whole he said, she said type of thing. So take it with a grain of salt. But previous workers, that people who used to work at Larian who have quit because of this Gen AI stuff have come out and said, hey, like they're saying this is how they want to use it. But that's not what's happening behind closed doors. They're actually using it like everyone else and just generating off people's data that they don't actually own and all stuff. Again, this is stuff on Twitter. He said, she said, take it with a grain of salt. But if that's the case, then obviously that's she shells. That would suck if that's the case, right? Very clearly obvious. Another thing that I want to bring up is that they're saying they're going to train it on their own data. And I wrote this down in our docket so I don't forget it. But from what I understand about these tools, and correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you need a massive amount of data to train these things, right? Like you need so much art and so much content to train it to be able to generate art and things like that. Like, is it physically possible for them to have that much content to feed it? Because
I mean, if they pull the previous work and like if they have everything like accessible and indexed, like yeah, don't see why not.
Okay.
But
enough.
like this also is like, oh, are you talking about like, oh, do you take how do I say, like, do you take like you can take like a default model and then train it around that. So like for example, there's like open source models that you can take and then from there like feed it your stuff and then it will pump out like things that are inspired by you kind of thing.
Gotcha.
That's my understanding, but yeah, it does take a lot of time and training does require like 24/7 like running. So
Right, and so that's the question, right? Like these default models, these open source models, like what are they trained off of, right? Like
yeah, I don't know.
Are they trained off of other people's art, things like that? So if that's the case, then like how can you possibly verify? Like I'm just bringing all this stuff up to say like I don't know how true it is with what he's saying on this AMA, right? And even if everything were to be true, realistically, is that actually how it works? Is it something you can, like you can train off of your own data? And if so, how do you do? Like, there's a lot of factors in here of him just saying it versus like actually implementing it.
Yeah, bro, you're out here pressing X to doubt, bro.
A little bit, because like they were open and honest about it, and I do appreciate that. And they are saying, hey, like we're not gonna do XYZ, like we're trying to help the community. But it's a slippery slope, because if Divinity Original Sin does it and they're able to like Claire Obscure technically did it too, right? But like it's becoming like a normalized thing. So the question becomes like I don't know. It just seems off to me, you know. What is the proper like use of this tool? How to use it? It's just an interesting discussion and like thought process to think about, you know. But I don't know. I don't really have like a end point that I'm trying to make. It's just like I don't know if I believe them on what they're saying, but even then, like we'll see what the end result, right? Like it is what it is at this point. I guess we'll figure it out.
I mean, honestly, it's gonna be a difficult thing because like even with like Bungie, bro, their art director just lifted and shifted somebody else's work. So like you don't even need AI to do it, right? Like it's
true.
Like if anything, bro. If anything, this made it. Actually, no, never mind. I was gonna say if anything, it's at least it's not like a blatant ripoff of somebody's character. Unless you're out here doing, give me a Call of Duty calling card that looks like Studio Ghibli, bro. Like
Yeah,
yo,
that's
these
true.
guys are. Anyways,
That is true. That is true. But yeah, I guess we'll find out. Just like we'll find out how long the Warhammer Studio Games Workshop is gonna hold out against AI. So this is interesting. They came out and they basically said, "Hey, we are banning our staff from using AI in its content or designs." And they have said also like none of the senior leadership is currently excited about the tech. They think that it's causing more issues than it solved. And this is good initially. However, they said that they are still exploring, like senior leadership is still exploring opportunities to see how it could be used. But as it is currently, they're like, hey, no one use it right now. So positive, but it could lean into like the negative. It kind of made me think like, why say anything at all? You know,
I think maybe it's just to kind of draw the line. I think part of some of the stuff that we're seeing now is like people want to let folks know where they stand on things, I guess. So maybe it's part of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, it's like because here's the thing, right? If you don't say if you say you're using AI, or if you don't like, if you do not denounce AI, then people are like, well, did you use it? Huh?
That's fair. That's fair.
Bro, yeah, it's crazy because like I think even now people just think CGI just stands for AI, so it's like can you believe Shrek was AI? Nah, yeah, I'm curious how also they're gonna handle this because if this is, I don't know if this is the Warhammer like tabletop people or if this is like the owners of the Warhammer license.
Well, they own the Warhammer like license, and they're making games with the Warhammer license, I believe.
Yeah, because I know they license that, like they give the license out to a lot of folks. So I'm curious how if that is something that they're also going to be strict on when doing the licensing, right? Like
Yeah.
like that's why there's so many 40K Warhammer 40K games. There's like a Civ game that's like that's like Civ, a Warhammer game that's like Civ. There's this another game that's like Left 4 Dead. There's another game that's a freaking typing a type racer type of game. There's one that's a Doom shooter.
That's true. Okay.
There's one that's a RTS. There's a third person action game. Like they've gone through all this stuff. So I'm curious how are they how are they gonna enforce this across the line?
That is a good point. I don't know. How would you enforce it? But I guess we'll find out. I mean,
yeah,
it's not really anything you could really do until it's done. You know, like you find out afterwards. Like, are they gonna lose the license, kind of thing? Like EA got their Star Wars license pulled and all that stuff. So, don't know. Kind of interesting to think about. Just like it's interesting to think about there is a thing in the United States military and the United States like government called the Pentagon Pizza Index. And what it is that when something big is about to go down for the Pentagon or whatever, pizza places around the Pentagon surge in business and people can actively track it. It's like a pretty like easily findable thing. And so I don't know who was watching it in the first place, but people have been watching Valve, and there is a pizza index for Valve. Basically, they're looking at different pizza places around Valve, and they noticed that fans predicted a major game update after pizza shops near the developer's office saw a sudden spike in traffic. And then Deadlock players, I think specifically, noticed that Domino's near Valve HQ was busier than usual. And sure enough, the next day that they saw this or whatever, or the day after, or whatever the case is, there was the Deadlock update patch notes released, and the whole update that we talked about earlier in the show, like that came out. So this is real. Like, this is something that's the thing that we can reference in the future, you know?
Damn, dude, that's bro, that's crazy, bro. I saw it on the show notes. I was like, what the heck is Pizza Index? I mean, this is like some new like VR thing, and then I see the fucking Domino's like busier than usual thing. Oh my
You know what you
god.
gotta do? You gotta disguise yourself as a Domino's driver and
Yeah,
get
yeah.
in there to see what they're doing.
Hey, my name's Gabe Newell.
Pizza for Mr. Newell. He said I could work here too.
Oh, dude, you idiot. He's on a yacht somewhere.
Yeah, he's fixing
That's
the bugs.
yeah.
But yeah, just a small thing. I thought that was kind of cool, or goofy rather. But something else that happened this week was the Resident Evil Requiem showcase, and they show Grace and Leon gameplay differences and things like that. And it looks. Did you watch the showcase?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I mean, I let me rephrase. I saw clips of Leon doing action.
Okay, fair
Which
enough.
is crazy.
Yeah, he like has like cool finishers and things like that. I'm excited to see how this plays. It looks like they're combining Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 4 remake with Leon's action sequences, and then Grace's like not total action sequences, like kind of like pseudo action where you have to like escape monsters and things like that. So looks cool. They had marketing partnerships, which I don't know if they've done that before. They had a whole segment.
Oh,
about,
geez, I really want to buy a Porsche.
yeah, literally they had a whole section on the Porsche that Leon will drive in the game, and also his watch that he has on. So it's like, okay, like kind of strange, but I feel like I don't know if this is like a normal thing, you know?
Yeah. You know, actually, I didn't realize it until later, but Street Fighter 6, I think Kimberly has a collab with Onitsuka Tiger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
If you don't
cool.
know, that's for folks that don't know, Onitsuka Tiger is a streetwear, I guess, is a streetwear brand. They're really
Japanese
known
shoe
for their
brand.
shoes. Japanese shoe brand. Basically, in Kill Bill, the shoes that I think the bride wears, they're Onitsuka Tigers.
Yeah. But yeah, they also introduced some other stuff in this game. So the thing about RE games is that after 6, they kind of took the formula back and they said, okay, we need to really like update this. We need to figure out how we're gonna fix this franchise, because 6 was kind of like a wash. People really didn't like it. So at 7, they made it more horror focused, first person. That was pretty good. 8 was a little bit of first person horror plus action, because you have like weapons and you're actively taking out enemies. And then they did the remakes as well. This one seems like they're taking everything learned from RE4 remake and they're mixing it into this game as well. So which is what the Leon sections are. They're also bringing in like casual mode, which is like, you know, easy like aim assist stuff, standard difficulty, which is a little harder, and then they have standard classic, which is you have to save like in RE1 or 2, which is you have limited ink ribbons that you need to find throughout the game and save with those. So if you die, you're set back to the last ink ribbon you used. Kind of cool, honestly. Like they're just throwing in a bunch of stuff, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other things that they did not show that people are gonna be excited for. So yeah, I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. It's because some of the action sequences with Leon were crazy, dude. This dude, like, bro, kicks a zombie into a filing cabinet, and then like the zombie is vertically leaning against the cabinet, and dude hits him with like a freaking horizontal kick and squashes him like a bug. It was some dude. Loki was doing. He looked like Dante a little bit.
Oh,
man.
dude, yeah. So he's grabbing the chainsaw, using it against them. I think the coolest bit was that like a zombie came at him, and you can do like a contextual dodge. He dodges behind him, and the angle goes up from like a bottom up shot. And it shows Leon like have the gun barrel to the guy's head. He's like, it just like blows his shit smooth off, bro. It's so sick. I'm really excited.
It's interesting because like I think in the interviews they were like, we can't really do a horror game with Leon because like this dude's done a lot and he can't really be scared. So we're just gonna lean into it,
Yeah, he's
which is
literally
kind of
he's
cool.
him. So,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, which yeah, fair enough. I absolutely agree. Um, People are worried they're gonna kill off Leon, but I don't know if that's the case. So Leon. We'll find out. Um, but yeah,
yeah,
uh, just like
yeah.
what.
I hope there's no DLC for this game though.
Yeah, I hope not too, because if there is some DLC, bro, this shit's gonna chug. So, for context, what's happening is that Monster Hunter Wilds
It's a
released.
Capcom produced and developed game, by the way. So that was the
Yes.
segue.
Monster Hunter Wilds released on PC and it has been running atrociously. It does not run well. People are like, "What the hell is going on with this game?" And a modder, or first it was like from a Reddit post by this guy named D. Tilmarande, and he said that basically the game is so it's weird. Basically, what happens is that if you open up the game chugs a little bit, right? He has a Ryzen 5 3600 4060 Ti, and the game is giving him 41 frames per second. Not bad, but not great, but not like bad either. But more leaning on the bad. It's not a good start, right? And the more busy areas are, obviously, the less FPS you get and all this stuff. And he did this thing where he's like, okay, let me check something. He went into the game files. He made a mod that basically he noticed that there was a lot of DLC checks happening. The game is running and saying, hey, do you have this DLC? Do you have this DLC? Do you have this DLC? And it's like, okay, something is going on, right? And so what he does is that he makes a mod that spoofs him owning the DLC. It doesn't actually give him the content, or rather, sorry, it stops the checks. It doesn't actually give him the DLC. It doesn't say on his account that he has it. There's none of that. It just tells the game, stop checking for DLC. And he noticed a crazy difference in performance.
Yeah.
So much
Like
so.
it shoots up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
My
no, no,
bad.
no. Go for it.
No. I stole your thunder. Go.
Well, I was
I don't
gonna
know why
say
I'm doing this.
the main point I was gonna bring up is that he recorded it in like a file. He checked how many DLC checks it does. It did about 5,000 DLC checks within a span of about, I think, 10 minutes. 30 seconds. Sorry, 30 seconds. Which is insane. I don't know what they're doing when they build this game out, but like crazy work. But sorry, you were about to say?
Bro, that's like 170 a second.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting. Low key, it reminds me there was this indie game of this guy who was like, oh, I really want to make a simulator that like you're a squirrel girl and you have a crush on somebody, but somebody else has a crush on him, and then you go kill that girl, and it was like this high school Japanese girl simulator called like Yandere Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
There's a meme that like everybody tries to play it, and it runs like straight ass. And what the guy was doing is that every frame he calculates what like every single NPC is doing. So if you're at home and the teacher's at school, is gonna be like, oh, what is the teacher at school doing? And like it's figuring that out in the background, and it's like, oh, like this low key is like, and people clowned the hell out of the developer, and they said this dude has like the shittiest code. Like why would you do like certain checks on every single frame? And this sounds a lot like that, where they're like,
Yep.
at every frame, hey bro, you got the DLC. Yo bro, you got the DLC. Yo bro, you got the DLC.
Dude, yeah,
Um,
it's crazy because it's also like it's such a weird issue to deal
mhm.
like such a weird thing that's slowing the progression of this game. And it also like the fact of the matter is this game, like a lot of people don't play it anymore on PC because of these performance issues. It is not a well optimized game, and this is probably one of those reasons that because it's doing 5,000 DLC checks in 30 seconds, like
Yeah.
so. And the video has
Like
like Capcom and stuff, so they're gonna address it, but still like
Yeah, like I don't think this is like a malicious thing from Capcom to be
Yeah,
like,
absolutely
oh,
not. I
we're
don't
trying
think
to
so.
make you to buy the thing. It just feels like someone didn't have the oversight. This is, for developers they call this like unit testing and integration testing. Like how do things look like in like out in the wild and not just like, oh, it runs on my machine, haha. But yeah,
Yeah, well,
it's
it's also like a weird thing because it's like the Dragon's Dogma 2 release also had something similar where it's like it was running some checks in the background. They turned those off. The game runs significantly better.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's like the coding or design flaws that they have when it comes to making games at Capcom that's causing this issue. But like, yeah, very weird. And I don't think it's like you said. I don't think it's malicious, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just dumb that this is a big portion of the issues, you know. Um, but you know, speaking of dumb, Ahmed,
Huh?
would you like to
What
play?
what happened? Wait, what am I here for?
I'm about to ask you.
Speaking of big fucking losers,
Speaking
what
of
kind of segue is
idiots, would you like to join a let's say yeah, would you like to join an esports tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
How about this? You're significantly better at CS2 than me, right? Let's just say I want to join a CS2 tournament. How about I join and then you play for me and we can split the reward. How does that sound?
Sure. Okay. I look brown. I wear glasses.
Okay. Nice. I hey, listen. Appreciate it. You know, appreciate the sentiment. We have been caught and we are banned from all esports for the rest of time. This is your fault. How dare you? Basically, what happened is that a Thai esports pro admits to playing for his girlfriend after she's disqualified for cheating. So there's this game called Arena of Valor. It's like a online mobile game. And what happened was during the 33rd SCA Games Arena of Valor competition on December 15th, Thailand suffered a 0-3 loss to Vietnam. Basically, this player named Tokyo Girl as her like handle, she was disqualified for violating competition rules, and it turns out is that she had unauthorized software / modern equipment / third party involvement during matches. An investigation by the game's organizers found out that she was actually let me see here. They found out that something was going on, right? And then another esports player by the name of Cheerio, which is Tokyo Girl's boyfriend, posted a TikTok message admitting that he had played in her place. He said the decision was selfish, accepted full responsibility, and apologized to fans, officials, and the teammates who lost their chance to compete. Bro, crazy work.
Damn, bro. So you're telling me Tokyo Girl was not it was Tokyo Dude? That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, sometimes you need to take the L gracefully, bro. Yes, if you suck, you suck, man.
Yep.
Maybe this is not. Maybe this isn't it, man.
Well, the question also becomes that we don't know how long this has been going on for. We don't know like what other tournaments she did this in. So people are questioning everything that she's.
Damn, bro.
That she's
I gotta
won.
go return my Tokyo Girl freaking jersey.
Your
now,
Tokyo
man.
Girl
What the
merch.
heck? Yeah, I bought this thinking that she was the best of this game.
It's the footage from Incredibles where you have a picture of it on your wall and you tear it down or whatever.
Dude, it's funny because like when I was reading this story, I was like, oh yeah, Valorant, and you're like Arena of Valor. I was like, bro, what is this game? Arena of Valor, bro? They're just
yeah, no, it's crazy because it's like my question is, how is she able to get away with it for so long? You know, like, did no one check, no other officials or anything like that check on her other machines or whatever? But I don't know. I guess after a certain level, you just assume everyone's being honest. But that's wild, dude. Like, goddamn. And legal repercussions being that any tournament that she competed in has won or whatever played in, like, is going to come into question. So, yeah, I'm sure they're going to feel it for the rest of their days, to be honest.
yeah. don't cheat.
Yeah, I agree. Or if you do, don't get caught. That's the biggest thing, right?
Don't. Yeah. Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Bro. Winners don't do drugs.
True.
That's what the games in the '90s used to say. So
That is true. But yeah. So next story that we have is that Kratos in the live action God of War in the Prime Video one has been casted, and interestingly enough, it's Ryan Hurst, who has been on the Sons of Anarchy and the Abandons. And the funny part is that this guy is who plays Thor in Ragnarok.
yeah, that was the yeah. I was gonna say that's interesting. Bro, he already knows the story, so I mean, I think he's a little biased here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Yeah. I think it's a good casting, honestly. And Christopher Judd actually came out, the voice actor for Kratos, and he's like, dude, like, I know this guy is gonna give the character the respect it deserves, and I'm really excited to see him play it. So like, that's dope. You know, like the supportive actor that's like the supportive character, original character is like, yeah, like why not? You know?
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I just want to say, why do we need this as a story, though, bro? Like, I mean, why do we need? Like, they should have at least retold the stories of the first game. Like, you're technically jumping in the middle here, and the game just came. Like, the game came out like what, 2018? Okay, it's been almost 8 years, but like still.
Yeah, I think
We don't need this, man.
Yeah. Actually, it's a good point,
Like
because I think a big reason that the original games, that the 2018 and Ragnarok hit, is because you have the context of 1, 2, 3, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how this will play out.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Like, it's like you're seeing like someone that was like had so much rage, then like not matures, but like he like gets wiser, right? And bro, I really like, I don't know, like this, I think this is like Sony's like thing here is, and they're shooting themselves in the foot, I think, is that you're gonna get people that like, I was talking to somebody actually, and they were they were not really too big on gaming, and they're like, what games do you recommend for PlayStation 5? So I'm like, I'm like recommending, oh yeah, you should check out Opera Din, you should check out this game, you should check out that game. And then I was like hesitant to call out like just like the classic stuff, because like I wasn't sure what they were into. But I was like, you know, like there are classics that people play. It's like there's God of War, and then there's Last of Us, and they go, oh my god, Last of Us is that was such a great show. I want to play the game. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like you're like this. You already saw the story. Like that's like half the appeal for playing a Sony exclusive.
Yep.
And then now you're left over with the gameplay, which I would say at least the Last of Us gameplay is tighter. But I imagine they're gonna make a freaking Horizon Zero Dawn movie. Am I playing Horizon Zero Dawn for the gameplay or for the story or for both? Right.
Maybe you're not.
I feel like for the gameplay, I don't know, man. I don't know. From what I've seen and what I've heard and what a lot of people told me, I think even you said it was just like, it just feels like another open world game. So
Yep.
when you kind of remove the story element and the mystique, what's left there? So if this is Sony's way of getting non-gamers into playing games, you're kind of like, I don't know, you're kind of ruining it a little bit here. Because like if you're not gonna remaster the 3 God of War games, okay, turn them into a TV show. It's a story that like a lot of people haven't heard, haven't seen. It's a story from literally that starts in like what, 2003, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking about like there's a whole generation that has never even seen the first 3 games, right? And don't even know the lore behind it. And then I mean, I haven't played the other stuff. I watched story snippets prior, like growing up.
Yep.
But like, I'd be interested to see that. Like I'd be like, oh, like I want to see what this dude was like in Greece.
Well, it's interesting because
so upset at Zeus.
I don't think, the thing is, like, even if they were to tell that original story, I think they would try very hard to. I don't trust modern storytelling and writing in terms of a um like the trend of modern writers to where they humanize villains, and I don't think you know what I'm saying. Like I don't think
Yeah,
Kratos deserves to be humanized as much as like modern people might make him until you get to God of War and God of War Ragnarok. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the purpose
exactly.
of those
Yeah,
games.
you have to see like what this guy is like. Like you have to understand why he is the way he is.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, man. Like I'll be honest. Like I was at first I was excited for the Last of Us TV show, but they were literally it was like scene for scene, frame for frame, word for word, except for like episode 3 and then part of like I think it was like episode 6 that took nuances and creative liberties. But it was literally like in the scene, they're in the car. She looks at the magazine. She makes this joke. She says this exact thing. But and like, or like I don't know. Like I don't want them to do that with all their properties. Like I'm like I don't know, man. I want to see interpretations.
Yeah, I would also argue like Last of Us, while it is a good show, in my opinion, it's the more inferior way to experience that specific story.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I agree. Yeah.
You know,
Because
so
like there's something about Last of Us when you're running around with like 2 bullets and you whiff 1 bullet and you're like, fuck, there's 3 other dudes. Like, what am I gonna do? Because I saw this on Last of Us 2 that like if you're and maybe it's in one. It was in the Last of Us 1 like reveal demo, but definitely in Last of Us 2 is that like if your gun is out and they hear the click, they're like, oh, you're out of ammo, and then you get rushed. Like so like that moment of exhilaration and like the visceral like stuff, like smash some dude's head in on a dresser and things like that is like
yeah, and I think
like, it makes sense with the heft of the story.
Yeah, and I think Last of Us 1 really nailed the pacing of everything. Like
yeah.
The guy and his brother that you meet in the game, and like that whole arc and how it plays out, like hard cuts, like very like nice bonding time, like a bunch of stuff, like it's just done really well. And I guess all this to say that like I am not against the idea of a God of War show, but like you said, we're missing the context, we're missing the drive as to why Kratos is so bad. Like because I'm not getting it from Ragnarok or from 2018 unless you play the originals or at least know what the originals are about.
Yeah.
So
like you don't understand the relationship with Atreus, and you don't understand why that's so hefty, right? Because like now you just see like, oh, this guy just hates his son.
Yeah, it's
okay,
a shitty dad.
but
Which correct,
yeah,
but still like.
But you don't know where the dude's coming from, right? Like you're like, anyways, it's I don't know. I hope that they do something, but also, look, man, I'm just gonna throw my shot in the dark. Make an animated show about Sly Cooper, please.
What is wrong? That's not happening.
Give us something that's not fucking.
All right,
bro. Dig in the trope and get something that's not like they are just, man. Like, production for the show should be simple. You just get a guy, just throw some fucking flour on Ryan Hurst and just let him just play the first couple hours of the game. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, dude, like all he has to do is just watch fucking Rad Brad on YouTube and just repeat whatever he said, whatever lines Kratos says, because that's what they're doing with the show, man.
All right. Anyways, okay. Actually, pause. Technically correct, but Amazon also is doing Fallout. And Fallout was done really well.
Yeah.
But Fallout is also an original story. It's not a retelling of it. Yeah.
Exactly. So. That's the thing. They need like, dude, for all the flack I give Todd Howard, it was funny because I think in one of the interviews they were talking about like the Fallout show. Yeah. And they're like, oh, we gave it a 9 out of 10. He's like, you gave it a 9 out of 10? He was surprised. He's like, oh my god. Yeah, I thought people hated Bethesda games, but no, like honestly, I have a lot of respect for him because he was basically saying the show is a continuation of the canon, and so for them, they're treating it as the next game, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Sony, I mean, they showed with The Last of Us, even with The Last of Us 2, they're just replaying stuff. You know, they're just retelling the story, and not in a good way, because like why like I don't want to watch if it feels like a bunch of theater kids uh doing a play of the game
Yeah.
when you know like you're like because in a way it's like this doesn't feel exactly the way that it's supposed to feel in the game because you're missing pacing, you're missing like the control feeling of like for example like you're down to your last bullet and there's three people like that adrenaline you can't really see in the game. Or sorry, yeah, you can't really see in the show. So I don't know, man. Hey, shout out Todd Howard. Look, for all the slander I've given you, man. Please forgive me on the day of judgment, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you cooked with Fallout Show, man. You cooked with it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what else is cooking apparently? Highguard, supposedly.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir. Honestly.
okay, for context, it came out this week from two sources, and again, link will be in the description. Two separate sources have told the author of an article, Highguard didn't need to pay for the awards finale slot, and that Jeff Keighley offered it to them because he likes the game.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for context, usually the last game that's shown at the Game Awards, it's usually something super hype or some shit you've never seen before, or it's like at one point it was Uncharted 3 gameplay or reveal, or it was I think Cyberpunk reveal at one point. Like it was something that is like it's something super. It's like if you had a dream and you wished upon a star. If your game didn't show up at E3, it was showing up at that last slot.
Yeah, like for context, if you were to look at it from in retrospect, Baldur's Gate 3, for example, would be that last spot, right? Just to just as an example. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the way this like the trailer set up was like Jeff Keighley walks out. He's like, all right, I'm paraphrasing, but he was basically like, oh, this is the last thing of the night. This is made by the developers of Titanfall and Apex Legends, and I really enjoyed playing this game, so check it out. And everybody's like, holy shit, what can it be? This has to be Titanfall 3. Oh my god, this is gonna be great. Yeah, everybody. Granted, I think we were on a plane when this happened, but so everybody's like, oh, this is fucking crazy. And then you see the trailer, and you see generic ass white dude, haircut, spiky mohawk with the fade, and it's like 5v5, and I was like, oh my god, it's another fucking hero shooter.
Well, for me, the what happened was they were showing like random things, and they showed like techno nights with magic and like technology, like again, already a weird aesthetic, and I'm like, okay. And then they show like a bunch of random things like an arena fight. I'm like, okay, what could this be? Like, I'm not against this, but like, what is it? And then it wasn't until the fire guy got up and he said, turning up the heat. And I'm like, all right, I know what this is. It's a watch. And turns out, yeah, it's a 5v5, like objective, whatever shooter that people like, at least that's what people said initially. So yeah, people were like, the meme of like the F1 principal, like taking his headphones off, like upset. And he's like pissed. Let me see if I can find it. But
the meme you're looking for is Jose Mourinho headset.
Yes, there you go, perfect.
Yeah. It's the guy of like basically disgusted, saying like ugh, and then taking his headset off.
Yeah,
like, man, what shit am I listening to, man? So that's sort of honestly, I think the vibe that people got. They're like, because usually it's the most prime real estate spot on the show. It's like, why would you pay so much money to get up here and to show off another formulaic ass game? And then
what was the thing? Offline in 3 months game or whatever.
Yeah, Concord 2.
Yeah, Concord 2. Yeah.
Yeah, offline in 3 months. There's a lot of people were like, oh my god, why would you pay for this? And then now the story comes out, which was Jeff Keighley was like, "Yo, this game is actually so good. I just fucking put it at the end of the game, or put it at the end of the show." And that they didn't pay for it. Which, in retrospect, if you think about it, these guys were ex-developers from Titanfall and stuff, and they formed an indie studio.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that they are that they couldn't afford like this crazy ass expensive time slot. But now this kind of got me hyped because it's like poor devs. They actually wanted to shadow drop this game, but Jeff came up to them and was like, "Yo, can you guys just throw me a trailer? I'll present it." And I guess they weren't aware that they're gonna get the final slot. So they now, like, for someone that wanted to shadow drop the game, and that didn't really have plans or to get all this attention, like, I think they're sticking to their guns and saying, "Well, we're gonna show you what our game is about when when we do a big reveal the day of release," which I think that was like their intention. So
Yeah.
but now I kind of feel bad for these guys, and now I have to check it out. Plus, I mean, Jeff Keighley's like, "Fuck it, bro, put it. Everybody needs to see this." So yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what to think about it, because like now that Jeff is saying like, oh, everyone needs to like see this or whatever, it's like, okay, this is gonna be different, like different enough to where it's like it justifies being at the end of the show, you know. So I am I'm excited, I guess, to say the least, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely gonna play it, you know, like that's the thing.
Oh, 100%. Like at first I was like, I'm gonna play it and meme on it just so I can say shit. But then I'm like, yo, actually, man, I want to see. I know nothing about this game. I just want to see what it's about, man. And I'm kind of more excited to get into it.
Yeah. So
as you know, as we started the show, so yeah,
we'll find out. We will find out, and we will update you guys. But yeah, let me see here. So this is also something that is interesting. There was a what is this here? Where's this timestamp? Here it is. Okay, there was a Cyberpunk VR mod made by what's this guy? Luke Ross, and he is someone who's he makes mods for a living and sells them or whatever. And he made a Cyberpunk VR mod where you can play the game in VR, and conceptually that's cool, right? Like that'd be kind of neat way to experience the game. But CD Projekt Red kind of came out and said, "Hey, like here's a DMCA, like you need to make it available for free, like please do." And he said no. Therefore, they had to issue a DMCA notice and they had to take it down. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, dude, like what did you expect to happen when you started charging for the mod? I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be paid for the mod. I'm not saying that the work is not worth it, but at the end of the day, he's trying to make a profit from someone else's IP, and an IP that's still very much active. They're working on Cyberpunk 2 right now, you know? So it's like, I don't know what he expected to happen, to be honest.
Yeah. It's interesting, cause like I don't know if exactly this is true, but if so I think there's two angles, right? One is like you're making money off of somebody else's thing, which like if they were used via the mod toolkits that CD Projekt has released, then it's like, hey, you're like the intention of this toolkit, and I'm pretty sure in the TOS language was, oh, like this is intended like to free modifications. You can't like I'm not gonna give you like the keys and tools of how I built my game, and then give it to you, and then you turn around and then like charge people for the tools that I gave you for free. If that was the case, then 100% for sure. Like it's kind of messed up. So because people were saying like, oh, dude, like you should have just added a tip donation feature instead of like paywalling things. Then again, like I think it is. I don't know how in depth it is to make VR mods, but it might be worth. Like it might have been a lot of work for him to like retrofit a game to be VR that wasn't intended to be VR. Like that could be difficult. I don't know. It like I can kind of see a little bit where he's coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, like you can keep your thing up. They said just make it free because like they're not trying to like generate a second economy off of this stuff.
Yep.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting because I was looking up on the side. Apparently, another publisher saw their game on there and then also put a DMCA notice on him. So the publisher for the Ghost Runner game. So they were like, you know what, man, you're up in the air. We're gonna get your shit out of here too.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
God damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, what did you expect? What did you expect to happen?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it sounds like I mean, with the mods going away, it sounds like there's less games to play on VR then.
You are correct, because not only did this guy fall apart, but so is Meta. Meta has laid off 1,500 VR focused individuals from their company, and they have moved a bunch of them, the ones that are remaining, to the wearables division. There are still some in the VR space, but not nearly as many as before. And like the Reality Labs division specifically, they are scaling back on the VR space, and they are trying to jump more into the wearable stuff, like with the Meta glasses and things like that. First off, Meta glasses like make sense. They are, people really like them, and they're cool technology, whatever the case is. But I would say, one, it sucks that all these people got laid off, but it is not surprising after having billions of dollars in losses. Over, I believe it's about $70+ billion lost to VR since 2020. I say lost because they're not generating a profit. So writing was on the wall, but I don't think that this is the final nail in the coffin for VR, but I think it's a pretty huge blow, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because like I think like they were also bankrolling a couple of like game developers. Like I think the people that did Arkham Shadow got impacted.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I like a lot of people were saying that was one of their most favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
So
Asgard's Wrath as well, or something like that. Like a lot of good high quality VR studios that were specializing in making VR games like got shut down essentially. And it's not because their quality was bad or anything like that, but and we've had this discussion before, but it's one of those things where it's like the market is just not there for VR gaming. You know, it's very costly to do. It's like VR in general is already limited to, one, you need to own a VR headset, which is an X amount of money, right? And then two, you need to be able to use it. If you get sick from it, you're going to return it and not use it, And three, like gaming on a VR headset is a lot more of a commitment than getting on a controller and just playing on your console, computer, whatever it might be.
And I think also, like, to add on to that, like, I think the fourth thing is like it is the design language and for making games isn't there yet. Like there's like for example, each game has its own way of like handling reloading, right? So there isn't like right now, if I tell you reload a gun in a game, you're most likely going to be pressing like square or something, right? If I ask you like what button are you going to press to jump, you're going to press X. If I ask you what button you press to crouch or roll, you're going to press circle, right? Switching weapon is triangle, right? Like there's things that are like ubiquitous from how you handle things. VR doesn't have that yet, and I think part of all of the investments was like getting all of the like some of these people find like to figure out like how do you do game design that's like intuitive, that makes sense for different styles of game, and like how do you make a game in a physical 3D space. So like it's like that doesn't require you just sitting there, because the early VR games were just like, oh yeah, you're in a cockpit, you're on a chair. But now like you have these games that make you walk around, but like how do you define that language? And I think it's sad to see, because like there's a lot of research and development and patents that were done by these people. I'm assuming like in this Reality Labs. So it's hopefully people are able to bounce on their feet or maybe start their own VR things. But it's actually funny because you mentioned Meta glasses, and I swear, dude, like we know a guy that used to own it. I think in like 2015, Snapshot spectacles
Yep.
or Snapchat spectacles, bro. Everyone was like, "Oh, that's a flop. Why the hell would you do that?" And then now every time I open Instagram, it's someone just filled with Meta glasses, bro. Every TikTok I open is, "Hey, can I get 1,000 burgers?" And it's filled with the Meta
Yeah.
glasses. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm part of me is like a little weird about wearing a camera all over the place that people can like quote unquote not access but access if they like that same privacy kind of conversation that happens. But
yeah.
regardless, that's yeah, I don't know. And the question then becomes like for the VR stuff, like Valve is definitely gonna put stuff out for VR when this index drops and things like that. Like they will realistically be one of the only names in VR gaming at like in terms of like high quality VR gaming, because it's like the PS5 one is getting discontinued, right? Meta is not really doing it. I don't think Meta is going to fully abandon it because the Meta Quest 3, I assume, it's still pretty good tech. Like it's still really nice, you know?
They're for sure eating it because I think Meta's point was like, oh, this is like your new screen, this is your new home, this is like this is your thing. Because I think the bet on it was like, oh, we like that's why they changed their name, right? They were so thinking that we were gonna do a Ready Player One shift, which I think that has to like play out in a certain way. High key, if anyone's gonna do it, it's probably gonna be Fortnite. Not VR specifically, but like that Ready Player One aspect of like meeting in the metaverse and everybody hanging out, which is what I think Facebook was trying to do, like that.
They tried, but no one did it. Like people were like, "What?
Exactly,
Why would I do that?" Like it's
the irony is that like maybe they're too early into VR the same way Snapchat was into spectacles, but now Meta glasses are like the place to get that technology.
Yeah,
So I'm
but
curious,
that's
like who's gonna pop up.
I think people are now looking into, instead of VR, they're looking into AR, augmented reality, of like having a screen not on a screen. Like the new Meta glasses I think have a HUD on them. You know, like
They have a development one. Like I don't think you can buy it yet, or can you?
I don't know if you can, but that's something they're going towards. And I will say I think AR is more future, not proof, but future like tech. You know, like that's kind of what everyone envisions. Like no one really envisioned VR being like the future of like, oh, like VR is a stopgap to AR. Now I think people are jumping straight to AR because it's like, yeah, like this is what we want, you know? So I don't know. I it sucks that all these people lost their jobs, of course. At the same time, it's like, man, like I'm not surprised. Like from a business perspective, like I'm not trying to be like, oh, I started with $1 billion company here, but like, you know, like it is what it is at this point, you know? Especially since like gaming in general, the margins I think are pretty slim unless you hit like a banger, you know? And most games that come out are not bangers, unfortunately. So like, especially with all these other barriers to entry to actually enjoy it, like I'm not surprised. Yeah, but just like I'm not surprised to get to the final story of today, which is probably the most interesting.
Oh, brother, dude. How long has this podcast been going on for?
Bro, we were gone for 2 weeks. Like, we gotta make up a little bit of time. But
no, it's fun. I enjoyed chatting. I just realized, like, damn, bro,
we have been chatting for an hour and 53 minutes, but we'll try to keep this within like 15, 20 minutes.
No. We gotta talk. We gotta talk about, man. We ain't cutting no shit. Dude, I ain't a butcher.
Okay, so basically, Ubisoft is doing a new business strategy. Let's see if it pays off for them. Ubisoft shakeup, layoffs, studio closures begin in major reorg. 6 games canceled, including Prince of Persia remake. So, the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake was, you know, pretty well documented to be on track to be built out and finished, but they canceled it right? And people are they canceled it, and people are like, "What the heck's going on?" And it turns out Ubisoft will be doing a huge new reorg of their entire space, right? They're splitting into 5 creative houses, right? And of course, this is resulting in layoffs across the company, morale at an all-time low. People are not happy with upper management. They're like, you don't know what you're doing, which, yes, fair enough, right? They are also closing down some studios, one of which was a newly unionized studio that just happened to close down because they'd never been useful anyways. So there's that little bit of news. But the 5 creative houses are first one being Vantage Studios, which is focused on scaling and extending Ubisoft's largest and established franchises to turn them into annual billionaire brands. So there's that. Creative House 2. And they say it's going to be Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, which we knew about before, right? Like they said, they're going to be.
I think it's the one that Tencent has a stake in. I think.
Yeah, which does make sense. Creative House 2, dedicated to competitive and cooperative shooter experiences, which is Division, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, and there's more included, but that's what they list. Creative House 3, designated to operate a roster of select Sharp Live experiences, which is For Honor, The Crew, Riders Republic, Brawlhalla, Skull and Bones. I didn't know they own Brawlhalla. Interesting.
I just realized that.
Yeah. Creative House 4, dedicated to immersive fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes, which include Anno, Might and Magic, Rayman, Prince of Persia, and Beyond Good and Evil. Creative House 5, which is focused on reclaiming position in casual and family-friendly games, which include Just Dance, Idle, Miner, Tycoon, Ketchup, Hungry Shark, Invincible, Guardians of the Globe, or Guarding the Globe, and Uno and Hasbro. Let me see if there's anything else before we get into it.
Yeah, so I guess like it sounds like they canceled like 5 games and then basically said, hey, we have 7 that are unnamed that like we're gonna give it more time before we actually announce anything about it.
Yeah. Kind of a crazy shakeup, honestly. Like, let's see if it pays off for them. But like, I remember when Shadows was coming out, we talked about it, and we said, or at least my position on it, I can't remember what your exact position on it was, but I was like, like Shadows has to hit or Ubisoft is going to flop. And Shadows came out, and I think it sold well, but you're saying from a creative and like gameplay perspective, it wasn't that great. So
Yeah.
I
think so. I think what happened is I think a lot of Ubisoft's decisions kind of caught up to them, right? I think they were because early on they were the pioneers in open world games.
Yeah.
Right, and I think honestly they kind of did extraction shooters early with like PvP with what's it called, the Division, Dark Zone. So like they were doing stuff and pushing the envelope forward. But I think like obviously they got complacent. They did a lot of like they became the redundant Ubisoft that like people have known for like the last 15 years. And I think it kind of caught up with them. And then I think regardless of how well Assassin's Creed Shadow sold, I think they needed to do this. And I'm not saying like they needed to fight, like I'm not saying people had to be fired like for the sake of like I want to see people getting fired. I think from the sense of they by their greed thinking that they could make all these live service games and growing in a certain direction that they thought they could sustain like a certain like the I guess style of building. This seems like on paper, like I want them to succeed. On paper it sounds like they know they have their back against the wall and they don't want to continue like
bleeding out,
being bad. So yeah, so I think they're figuring out like, okay, like how do we lean into the best things, right? Like you and I guess maybe this might be a structure, or actually now that I'm talking, I'm looking at this might just be a structure for them to sell, like, sell part off different pieces of the company that they don't need anymore or that they don't want, right? Like, what if at some point they say, well, we don't really want to do any more family games, so they just sell off that division and say, okay, there you go.
Interesting.
Because like
Yeah.
if they nestle, because it sounds like they're doing creative houses, and maybe if they just put IPs into different, like, under each house, then maybe like it might be easier to piece things off. But at the same time, like, this sort of implies like uh like actually, I'm reading this. I've now been shuttered. Will come as 17,000 companies are restructured. I mean, like, if you ever seen like the credits on a Ubisoft game, high key, it's longer than some indie games, bro. Like, the length of some indie games, like,
Yeah.
shit. But the Ubisoft credits play as long as a Kojima cutscene, man. So like they needed to kind of like hone in a little bit and uh, like, get back into their prime, because like early Ubisoft, like I'm talking about like
Assassin's Creed
late
2.
stage, yeah, Assassin's Creed, like basically the 360 era Ubisoft, man, they were like on something, bro. They were crazy. And then, like, I think when they started to get into their head was like with Watch Dogs 1 kind of flopped a little bit, and they're like,
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
Fair.
From there, they kind of like started resting,
On their laurels.
and yeah, a little bit. Like, I mean, they did try to do some stuff with Assassin's Creed. Um, when I look at it in hindsight, or like I think, like, I didn't like Unity as a story, but I think from a technical perspective, it did a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
And I think, um, I don't know, man. Like I hate to see like like them go out, because I still want a Splinter Cell game, but
Well, yeah.
I don't know,
So
man.
I agree, and it's also weird because like the them being with their backs against the wall and all these things, it's very much a product of senior leadership coming in and saying, "Oh, we think the game should be like this, and it needs to do this and do that," and kind
Mm-hmm.
of like, because it's a series of like it's a series of things that you've seen over the course of a year or over the past course of like 10-15 years. Things like when the NFT craze was hitting, they released a game
Yeah.
and they were like, hey, like this game is going to be about NFTs and all this stuff. And people had so much backlash against it. It was removed almost immediately. And that's not something that usually happens except for when like the immediacy part, right? Sometimes it just sticks through. That's something that happens. That's like, so they're building a game and then they're told, hey, from on high, hey, add NFTs in here because that's the next big money grab thing, right? And then the game is
Yeah.
like, what do you
You want to
mean?
be early on the trend, yeah.
Yeah, and the game, and this is the thing is, this was late on the trend, like in terms of like when it was coming out for NFTs, and it was already a known thing that people said this sucks, they don't want this in games, and the designers of the game were probably telling leadership, hey, like this is a bad idea to put in it, and then they were like, no, just put it in, and they put it in, and there was massive backlash on it, and then they took it out within like a month or like 2-3 weeks, and that was probably the game designers and developers saying, see, we told you, and just pulling the rug out from it because it would have killed the game otherwise. You have things like where it's like instead of exploring new things for Assassin's Creed, they just started putting out essentially the same game over and over and over again, and so people were like, this is just schlock. Like Far Cry 5 and I think 6 did the same thing where it's like they're just putting out the same game because it was a safe bet that they know they could make money on. And then you also have reports from inside studios and like from Expedition 33, like they were all ex-Ubisoft people, or a lot of them were. And the reason being is that Ubisoft, if they want to do something creative, they have to fight tooth and nail for it. Like the creative things, like for example, Child of Light, only happened because the workers who were there were were forced to work on things that they didn't want to work on. They were like, we need to work on something we want to work on, or we're gonna quit. You know, so all this to say that the result of the space that they're in now is the result of senior leadership kind of trying to force things that don't necessarily work.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and so now it's led to this place of like, dude, like you guys are, like you said, backs against the wall, like we need to figure out what's going to work. And like, unfortunately, it sounds like everything they're going to focus on is things that established brands that they have, because they don't have the wiggle room to explore new ideas, at least as of
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it's like they are like they're playing defense for sure. So it's like you can't really try to knock it out of the park when you're kind of scared like this. So I'm curious how like how they're gonna do this. Like, is it for them? Does this just mean that they're gonna spend less on development? If that gives them like more place to float, then sure. I mean, okay. I would still like them to give a good spin on Assassin's Creed, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
to kind of, I don't know, man. Like there's something about uh there's something magical about just like I'll even say Unity, about like Assassin's Creed 2 and Unity, where it's like just that whole vibe of like being on the rooftop and just being like kind of
Kind of what?
fully got that because
Oh, you
like
cut out a little bit.
like
Say again.
oh no, I was saying like even in like Assassin's Creed Shadows, like I didn't fully get that of like I'm like a sleuth just like prowling on the rooftops. Like for example, like if when people played like Assassin's Creed 3, there's like no buildings for you to like hop between because like there's like big ass roads and you can't you can't do like that like sleek like walk across rooftops and jump and do like these crazy acrobatics, which like it's like some of that parkour element is like gone.
Yeah, but for
But
Assassin's Creed 3, I would say like they did try to innovate in other ways. Like they really expand on the gadgets you get, for example, things like that. Like they played it
and like
different.
tree climbing, yeah,
Yeah, right.
I guess.
But regardless, I'm not trying to justify like whatever. But like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I think things like Assassin's Creed, like the multiplayer. Like I remember going to my cousin's house and playing the multiplayer of like
Yeah.
you have to hunt down a target or like you're being hunt. Like that concept was so cool, and it was different
Yeah.
and it was unique. But then they started getting rid of that because they're like, oh, like whatever the case, cost too much time, new money, whatever to make this. Like let's just
Yeah.
pump out something that's simple. You know.
Yeah. Actually, I'll be honest. I remember back in the day, I was like, okay, like that's cool. But then now, like, or I was like I think about it as like it's maybe it's okay. To me, I feel like I had a bit of revisionist history because I was like, oh, that's a cool thing. But then I realized like, why would I want to play a game like that from you? Like, that's not why I'm booting up Assassin's Creed. Like,
For sure.
because it was
Yeah.
like it was back in the craze when like every game had multiplayer. And then everybody was like, "Yo, bro, stay in your lane. Who are you?" But then I don't know.
This
It's
brother
interesting
does
'cause,
not
like,
believe in Last of Us factions.
did we make Ubisoft the way it is? Are
Oh, I
are
see.
we Frankenstein and they're Frankenstein's monster? You know what I'm saying? Like, did we?
Well, the thing is, right? Like, technically, yes, right? Like, Call of Duty is a perfect example of like, Call of Duty has gotten to a point where it is just repetitive schlock every year. It's the same exact game, just repeated over and over and over again, right? Whether that's because of Warzone or whatever, but they know they can sell hundreds of millions of copies because it's Call of Duty. People will buy it, you know? Ubisoft found a formula that works, and they're mimicking the same thing. And so the question becomes like, do they want to be a company that's just selling the same kind of schlock that's making money and like not necessarily the best kind of games, but they're making something that makes them profit? I guess the argument becomes they're not really making profit because they're changing up what they're, like they're obviously everything is going to shit, so they need to fix it. So something is happening with it that they're not happy with. We don't know what that is exactly,
Yeah. Okay, bro. The Sands of Time remake, kind of sad that it didn't go through. Like they were talking about like they kept having not revisions, but like it got delayed like 2 times, and then the third time they said, "All right, pull the plug," which is it's funny because like that was the like a proof of concept for Prince of Persia was what led to Assassin's Creed. So
Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe
yeah,
it.
it would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Would have been nice, man.
Yeah, it would have been. So and it sucks because I'm sure there was quite a bit of time sunk into the game. You know, like that's also part of it. Like
Yeah,
the people,
yeah,
the
yeah.
morale must be in
Yeah,
hell at this point because of how like
yeah. Yeah, I've worked on projects where I was like I thought like we're basically like one of the projects I was on that I worked for like a year and a half basically got thrown in the trash, and I was like, all right, bro, fuck this. So I can
yeah.
imagine, like, you put all that time and then people, they're like, actually, hey man, just go sit on the side.
Yeah.
That's
You know, so I hope all the devs who were laid off are able to find new positions. Obviously, like this is not great, but it is something that was not surprising, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, so now I will comfortably say if this doesn't work for Ubisoft, then they're cooked.
bro, okay. Yeah, bro, I don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Uh-huh.
What do you think their stock price is?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, just take a shot in the
I
dark, bro.
know. Okay, I know that it's fallen to a record low. I would say like $40. That's my guess.
Okay, brother. It is cheaper than a can of Arizona. It's 91 cents.
No shot, really?
Yeah, yeah. It is. So the whole company is evaluated. It says market cap is 500, like roughly 500 million euros.
God,
So
dang,
yeah.
dude, that's
So
crazy.
yeah. So 5 years ago it was $20. Their all-time high was $22. Okay.
Interesting.
Well, yeah. I mean, they could have done like splits and stuff, but for context, oh, that's actually crazy. Hold up, that's kind of crazy.
Well, for the past 5 days, they dropped 40% or something.
Yeah.
Which obviously, like from $1.30 to like 90 cents is not that bad. Like in terms of like, oh, it's only whatever amount of cents, but like that's a huge like. People do not have any confidence in Ubisoft right now, which is kind of nuts.
So from all-time high to now, they are down 100%. Yeah. So that would have meant that they were like what, a $5 billion company at some point, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
My math is mathing, or a $50 billion.
I love it. I love it.
You love it?
As in, like, get in cheap, bro. We can become part-time owners.
Bro,
of
you want to know why the stock is so low?
Why?
It's because they defrauded them with the Rainbow Six. Man, they put $3 trillion of Rainbow Six currency.
Oh, is that why?
Gave it to everybody.
You know what it is, actually?
That's why it's 90 cents, bro.
It's because of us. Because you know what happened? We registered in their esports, and you played for me for Rainbow Six, and they, we stole their prize money. We just kept doing it. We're bad people. It's our fault.
It's because, you dear listener, whoever's around here, it's because you didn't buy the last Assassin's Creed. That's why we're here.
It's your fault, and you should feel bad.
Actually, bro, I'm gonna buy a lot of stocks right now of Ubisoft.
Please don't.
Bro, dude, I can be the CEO.
Yeah, well. Oh man.
What's that? There's should I say this on record? There's a quote from Kanye. He's like, "How much does the Earth cost? I want to buy the whole Earth." That's you. How much does Ubisoft cost?
I want to buy all of it.
All of you.
Well, the Saudis will probably beat you to it, to be completely honest. So, if they're not already working on it, but we'll find out. But
listen, guys, just dig in your couch cushion. You can buy a stock with.
Yeah.
check in your car. Check underneath the seats. You have enough to buy one stock of.
I mean, if there was a time to get into it, now would be it. So.
Actually, I don't know. I'm just joking. This is not financial advice.
Yeah.
This is a gaming podcast. This is not a financial podcast.
Yeah.
Okay?
Not yet, at least. We might expand.
Yeah. I mean, actually, if you think about it, if you have pennies in your cushion and you have quarters in your cushion and you could buy a stock, this puts a whole new meaning in putting. Uh, damn, that's a couch, not a mattress. I was gonna say put money in the mattress, but
Yeah, same thing. Same thing.
yeah, in this economy, people do be sleeping on the couches.
That is true. That is true.
You know,
But
maybe this is a
maybe this is a financial podcast.
Yeah, we're out here. We're insured by FDIC.
No, we're not. We are not.
Yeah.
We are not. But yeah, that's our show for today. About 2 hours and 14 minutes or so. Appreciate anybody who's still here. Any closing remarks for the people?
Try out different games, man. I think not everything is. I think it gets to a point where you might have seen a lot of things. Sometimes it's nice to play, those traditional action games. But sometimes it's interesting when a game makes you interact with something in a different way. It's like that first time I ever. If you actually, this might be a good segue. If you ever had a salad with like a fruit in it, like who puts apples in a salad? Like, man, what the fuck is that? Maybe there's like a piece of like a tart Granny Smith apple in a salad. You're like, damn, this shit kind of good. What the heck? It's like it's one of those moments, right? Whenever you think like, yo, who's putting I don't know, it's like a weird combination. I don't want to say pineapple on pizza because that's divisive for folks. But
Who's putting a
like
roguelike in my poker?
Yeah. It's like sushi. It's like who the hell is eating raw fish? And then sometimes you're like, yeah, damn man, that kind of slaps, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. My closing remark is everyone buy Ubisoft stock. It is a safe stock to purchase. Don't do that.
Bro, tell your grandpa to take his pension.
There you go.
There
you go. That's the one to do.
Ubisoft stock.
It is almost a penny stock. So wait a bit, and then it might. It might be.
I'm not even joking. So if you do buy enough stock of something, so there's like levels to it. You get to join. You get to vote on things, and if you buy enough stock, you can join the investor meeting and then be like, hey, I'm a shareholder. I want to ask this question. So one guy did that with Nintendo. He bought so many Nintendo stocks, and he'd be like, can you guys please make an F-Zero game with Captain Falcon?
Wow.
So
let's see if it works for him.
I'm just saying, bro, if you guys want a game from Ubisoft, just go up and buy 99 cents, man. You can get your thing.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that was our show. Appreciate you guys for listening. You guys have a good one.
Take care.